Jay, welcome back to your weekly whiskey, wine, and all things barrel-aged podcast.
We're so excited today.
We are excited. Why are we excited today?
Okay, first of all,
Why does it sound like I'm talking into a paper cup?
I don't know. I thought we fixed levels beforehand.
No, I'm apparently
get
I
with
apparently
the
suck.
program.
I'm sorry, I suck at my job. There we go. That's better.
There you go.
So why are we excited? Why are we excited? Oh, 'cause that dog next door.
Dude, the dog. I'm a little heated already prior to the show, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay calm during the show. And then I heard that fucker start barking.
Whoa! All
Sorry.
right. Well, we're PG-13,
and I've already. Don't get me going.
We're
Literally,
PG-21.
no. Here's the thing. Really quick to this dog, and I know people are here. I'm watching a benchmark whiskey review, and he's talking about a dog.
I don't think anybody's here yet.
Really quick, nobody's here yet, so we're gonna let him roll in while I tell my side story.
Roll in.
Sorry, people that watch this after the fact. You're gonna have to skip ahead probably like a minute while I just tell this rant. So the neighbors next door get this German Shepherd puppy. Beautiful, beautiful puppy. German Shepherds, I think most people can agree, beautiful dogs, great dogs to train and have. Remember, we're based out of Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
So having a dog that's kind of a what would you consider? Not like a northern animal. Like that dog belongs in like Alaska or like somewhere where the temperature is more mild.
I'd say that dog belongs someplace where it's a little cooler. Yeah,
or if he's inside all the time, if he's an indoor dog.
Maybe he is.
That's fine.
Maybe he is.
But he's not. Because let me tell you, they leave that poor bastard out there all day long. And he barks at everything. He's a puppy, probably not trained. Hopefully my neighbors aren't fans and watch the show and listen to this rant, or maybe they take heed. And here's the thing. What worries me is next month when it's 120 out, actually not even next month, in a couple of weeks, when it's 120 and that poor dog is in the backyard. And then I've already ranted to some colleagues that told me there's like an animal control law that they can't
be that guy.
No, but they can't keep the dog out there if it gets over a certain temperature. And I flew the drone over the backyard over there, and they gave it one little dog dish of water, and that poor giant beast is going to die of thirst or die of heat exhaustion.
Giant beast.
So that's all I got to say.
Okay.
Don't get an animal if you can't take care of it.
Fact.
Is another thing I got to say.
Yeah.
Let's talk about whiskey. Benchmark single barrel. Shout out to the one and only Drew, the man. The man.
Drew.
How
are you so incredible that you're going to show up?
He's got a hockey game tonight. He said he won't be able to join the show.
That's right. Go Knights, go.
I actually he's playing hockey. But yes, go Knights, go.
I thought he was watching had tickets to the game. Go Knights, go.
But also go Kraken. See if they won last night. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is a lot of money on the line. So last week's show, if you guys were watching, he said,
are you like? Are you like Mattress Mac over there? A lot of money on the line?
Oh, yeah, like $50 on the line.
There you go.
Us, it's a lot of money. Anyway, to Mattress Mac, that's nothing when he puts like $4 million on the Astros, right? Every year or whatever. So last week's show, we're tasting through the benchmark line,
and look at the whole lineup, guys.
We now, thanks to Drew, we officially have the whole lineup. So on the show, he's like, I have a bottle. He messaged me today, and he's like, hey, can I come drop off that bottle? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm working. Can you meet up for the show? And I offered just, hey, come on the show, bring the bottle.
Yeah, where is he?
And he's like, listen, I gotta go. No, he had to go play hockey. He's doing like hockey tonight, right? And that's my stick motion. So he has to go play hockey.
Is that what that is?
That's what I needed to explain.
Is that what that is?
It looked a little weird. So anyway, he has to go play hockey. He's like, I'm not coming to the show, but he's like, can I just drop it off at your house? And I'm like, I'm working. You can leave it in the front door or whatever. So I come home today from work, and I gotta have like this like big rock out front and the like desert landscaping, and he put the bottle right behind the rock of the benchmark single barrel. So Drew, thank you very much. Wish you were here to join and have it with us, but I'm sure we'll plan for a big share soon.
Yep.
Which I've already talked about because that pool's coming up to temp, and we're gonna have a big pool share here at the Barrel Buddies.
Well, I like it. I like it.
Maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend. I don't know.
So we've got original benchmark. We've got the benchmark small batch. We've got the benchmark top floor. We've got the benchmark full proof. And tonight, before we roll into this blind taste, which we were going to do tonight until we got this lovely bottle so graciously given, we have the benchmark single barrel, and I'll read for you here.
Please do.
Only the best barrels are selected for this special Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. While every barrel is unique, each reflects the utmost standard for the finest taste and the most smooth finish with every pour. And just a reminder, this is the McAfee brothers, the McAfees who saved us for 8 days and 8 nights. I'm sorry, the Maccabees, the McAfees, the Maccabees.
Give me a moment here, and I'm going to share out the
just a moment.
The whatchamacalls.
Oh,
we're gonna do a little
okay
benchmark single barrel. So here we go, right from Buffalo Trace's website. So to add to what BJ has already said, so 95 proof. It's their single barrel. They claim every barrel is unique, reflects the utmost standards. So this is this to them is the standard of benchmark. And I haven't looked at BJ to see his reaction.
Standard, huh?
Tasty notes: a nose of toasted oak and baking spice leads to a complex palate with notes of caramel and citrus undertones. Okay.
Does that not sound like?
Sounds decent.
That sounds like. Sounds like Buffalo Trace.
Well, it sounds like
citrus tones.
Yeah, it sounds like Buffalo Trace.
This could be like Buffalo Trace single barrel.
So let's get rid of that. Boop. And then a little bit of chat. Sorry, I totally missed out on the chat here. Uncle Punky, hello. Hey, Uncle Punky. I got to tell you.
What do you got to tell us?
I got to tell him that I just saw something on the socials today. Pennsylvania is having a lottery for a bunch of their BTAC.
Oh,
and you need to sign up.
Hello.
So find your ABC or whatever your liquor authority is in Pennsylvania. Get signed up for anything and everything. And anything you don't want, we will buy from you. So please just sign up for everything.
Yeah, we're gonna buy that.
Top Feed, what's going on, bud?
What's up?
Hey, and we'll let you guys know. Because I talked about this last show. I reached out. I shot an email to Redbeard. So Redbeard emailed us like months ago, and I just emailed him to check up on him. Has
he responded?
No, he has not. It was 2 days ago. I said, hey, the last time we talked to you was during the storm. Are you okay?
The storm.
Most people don't change their emails that often, right? So hopefully he'll see it. Didn't go to spam. Red, if you're watching, or if anybody knows him, also watches Manarino's channel. Somebody said they saw him.
That's good.
Tell him to hit up the Barrel Buddies.
Yeah, tell him
it was good. That's the thing I'm optimistic about, is that someone recently said they saw him over on Manarino's show. So I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. All right, so let's get into this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you start, because you've already had a little nose. Did you have a taste?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Right.
I did nose it. I'm getting some tobacco undertone, a little vanilla. I'm
getting like some orange.
I was just gonna say, and there is some citrus. It's not as citrusy, I don't think, as like Buffalo Trace. I think Buffalo Trace is way more citrusy.
Way more, but I'm getting that light. It's very light though. To be honest, it smells like a watered down vanilla and orange.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Beverage.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me optimistic about the taste. Cheers. Ting. Cheers, friends. What you drinking out there tonight if you are having a beverage?
Ooh, really, really oaky. Really oaky on that first sip, and very orangey, almost like an orange liqueur.
See, but it's quick. Ooh, it's got some heat.
Yeah, so this is coming in. We didn't talk about that. 95 proof.
Ooh.
So this is a big boy.
So what, 42 and a half?
Yeah.
I mean...
no, 47 and a half.
Right.
We do math good.
I don't know, though. Like, it's better than the full proof. So the full proof was 125.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We don't have all of them because we don't have the bonded. We don't have the bonded.
Oh, the dreaded. You know what? We don't like bonded.
We don't like bonded. I definitely don't like bonded. So please, if you have a bonded, we don't care.
That second sip. So that second sip.
Ed, shit. I didn't reply to Ed's email.
Oh, Ed, we want to hang out with you tomorrow.
Yeah, Ed, if you're still here in town, by the way, please let us know in the chat so we can talk now.
It's been a busy week.
We've been slammed, man. We've had some events together. We've had just our own personal things.
I was in court this week.
Yeah.
Not for anything personal. It was work
related. And I've been working long hours. So was he. So
okay, get in that second.
We try to tie,
I think that second
get the show in, squeeze it in when we can.
I don't think you're gonna like it. Yeah, really oaky bitter. Really oaky bitter.
It's like peppery, and I hate that.
Yeah, a lot of upfront spice.
The upfront spice of like a peppercorn and a little bit of like the sweetness, caramel, like subtle caramel.
This is their standard, huh?
Oh, and I wanted to talk about that caramel versus caramel. So apparently, it's caramel when you're referring to the food, and it's caramel when you're referring to a note, like a flavoring.
So I'm gonna fight you on this.
No, that's what I like read this. That's like official.
Cool. Official by who?
I don't know. Good Housekeeping.
The Keebler Elves?
Reader's Digest.
Because I go by the Keebler Elves. Okay.
Okay, so what is Keebler?
The Keebler Elves
Yeah.
say a caramel is food, something you chew on, right?
A caramel is food. Okay.
Right. They're both food, but a
Yeah.
caramel is a solid.
Okay.
And a caramel is
the
a liquid.
Oh, but then
how do you always differentiated the two?
But then how do you describe what's what when you're tasting something?
Why they're both
valid.
They're both a solidified sugar that's been duressed under heat.
So you can say both.
Thing. Yeah,
and
you can say it has a caramel flavor, but I think that caramel is probably a little more sweet, where a caramel is something that has undergone a big process, the Maillard. I'm gonna throw something at you. The Maillard reaction, where those sugars have solidified and come out, and that's where I'd say you get less sweet, less sugars.
Okay. I would also say this. When I want to order a caramel apple, it's caramel. When I want a caramel apple, it's caramel.
Do you eat caramel popcorn?
Caramel popcorn.
Correct.
When I am describing something like a note of whiskey, I would then say caramel.
Interesting.
That's just me, though.
You know why? It's because, like I just said, caramel is liquid. What is whiskey? It's a liquid.
A liquid.
There it is. No fight. We're good.
Okay, great. So I'm just kind of mad on this, man. Like, and you brought up a really good question to me personally before the show, where you're like, "Are you getting tired of Benchmark?
Are you getting tired of Benchmark yet?" I don't know.
I want your answer.
Oh, I am.
Guys, here's the thing. We're going to do the show for you regardless if we're tired of it or not. That was my answer to him.
It was a good answer.
It was a good answer.
It was the answer. It was a good answer.
Yeah.
It was a good answer, because you said we've got to slog through things, and we've got to get through things whether we like them or not. That's what we got to do
for the show, for you guys.
I don't necessarily believe we have to do 5 weeks of something. I
almost like choked on that phrase.
5 weeks of Benchmark. It's going to be 6 by the time we do our blind
so
next
we were
week.
Questioning why we're getting less people on the show recently. It's because of this.
They're like, the Benchmark buddies. We hate that
show.
Well,
the Benchmark buddies have been doing nothing but Benchmark.
They're doing nothing but Benchmark for the whole year.
Uncle Punky wants caramel on his popcorn. Oh, caramel on his ice cream. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a caramel sundae or caramel sundae?
No, it's a caramel sundae.
It's a caramel sundae.
It's a caramel apple, and that's my reference point.
It's chewy and hard.
Yeah, caramel apple is like the.
So again,
that's
hard
the reasoning
versus liquid.
Yeah. Caramel apple is a caramel apple. A caramel apple, it's weird. Anybody that says that, I'm sorry, that's weird. It's a caramel apple. Fight me.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine digging your hand into caramel popcorn?
No.
It just sounds like a sloppy, nasty mess.
No.
It's all soggy.
We already went through this. Back to Benchmark. So let's talk about so Drew. I don't know what you paid for this bottle, but I'm gonna say I know MSRP.
Well, look it up. Yeah, what's the MSRP?
MSRP is $23, anywhere from I'm gonna say this $22 to $25.
So we finally have $100 worth of whiskey on our desk. Finally, we've got $100 of whiskey out here on the table. All right.
All of those bottles, we finally have broken through that ceiling.
We finally made
over the hump of $100.
Hey guys, you've been looking at how to spend $100. Well, let me tell you the greatest value since Britannica Encyclopedia.
There it is.
You can have a selection of Benchmark bourbon to put on your shelf and take up just about as much space and touch it just about as often.
Let's get down to brass tacks. Would you buy this of your own accord and drink it?
No, I would not. I mean, of all of them,
the only one I really enjoyed was the small batch.
And honestly, after we went back to the small batch, did you enjoy it?
Nah.
No, it was really watery. It was really thin. I think
Here's the thing.
I don't know. Of all of them, I maybe like this one the best.
I'm kind of with you. I think this is the least offensive. I think it has the least dings I would give it out of all the bottles, which means it's not perfect. It's not great. It's kind of a meh plus, like my personal rating on the meh scale. It's like bad, meh is the middle. Then you get meh minus, meh plus.
It's just
and then
so. I
it
mean,
goes from there.
I know it's an oak.
Oh,
It's an
and
oaky
Bourbon
flavor.
Cat's moseying down the stairs, coming on over.
Your favorite.
She is. I don't want to get into it, but she
She's in
has
trouble.
been a troublemaker
trouble.
today.
It's got that acidy, charcoaly flavor that I don't like. It's not as bad as like in some Beam product, but yeah, I'm not digging on this.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to figure out who are they marketing? Like, is this just the degenerate drinkers that want a $20 bottle?
No, I think it's like you and I. I think it's definitely you and I who are looking for something super unique, very value driven, and where we think we're going to get a huge value for our money. I mean, we were talking about some of these bottles, especially when we were talking about small batch and the full proof. We were talking about how those are like BTEC throwaways in some cases. So I think it's marketed towards people who are enthusiasts and who think they're going to get something special. I think these are big misses. I do. We've watched some of the whiskey podcasts about Benchmark in preparation too, to be like, man, is there something we're missing? Like, we'll go back and watch this and be like, we got to be missing something. I don't think I'm missing anything.
I'm echoing all of what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with all of that. Like,
just being honest.
But here's the thing. Like, as from a company, like as Buffalo Trace, is it like, hey, we just want to put out a product to help quench FOMO, like the fear of missing out? We just want to come up with a bunch of, like purposely hold back the product and keep it limited to try to make it seem scarce. And
I have a science project for us.
What do you got? You're gonna hold on. You want to mix them all?
So I think that there are a couple of different science projects that we could do.
What do you got?
The first is I think that these could make. We've already talked about these could be great finished whiskey products, especially the small batch.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the small batch would definitely be a great.
They're
finished
almost
whiskey
there,
product.
right? It's kind of like it needs a little bit more oomph, and it could be a really decent product,
right? So a good finished whiskey product where it takes on some characteristics of whatever else we want to add. But I was going to say, I think that we could have a lot of fun. I do think we could blend it. I think we could do some blending things, and it would be fun.
Yes.
I do think also that it would be fun to. Oh, now you made me lose my train of thought because I was like, oh, I got a good. I wanted to put it through a Brita filter.
Okay, what are you hoping to get out of that, though?
I don't know, anything better than what's in the bottle.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we could do that.
Maybe we age it for 6 weeks in Ambura.
Stop. Amberana?
Yeah, some Amberana.
Stop.
Let's get some Amberana.
You're just getting on the hype train to get me going again.
I think if we got some Amberana chips,
and
we really
staves and chips and barrels and we finish it for 6 months. We take dog shit whiskey and hope Amberana saves it.
Oh yeah.
God, it's so annoying.
I think that's what we need to do. Get some Amberana chips.
I don't know about you guys, but I am like, what did I call it? I'm brand fatigued. Like when I walk down the whiskey aisle now and I see everybody and their mother having a brand of all these NDPs, all these non-producing distilleries out there that just procure some young 2 to 4 year whiskey, and then they just do something stupid with it and then sell it at the 4-year mark or like the 3-year and 6-month mark after it was sitting in a honey mead coconut cigar tobacco barrel, which I've never even heard of. I didn't know that tobacco was in barrels.
You know what this reminds me of?
And then they sell it for $80 a bottle or $100 a bottle.
So you should finish this up because I did just pour myself some full proof.
Yeah.
The full proof tastes good compared to the single barrel. Seriously. And all I can think of right now is the last mancation I went on.
Okay.
With my brother-in-law. Mancation, for those of you that don't know, is when the group of us who are all married and have children or don't have children, in my case, ditch the wives and families at home and go on a cruise without them. Now, we haven't done this for a very, very long time, but I just remember a very good friend of mine, Jeremy, who said, I have to get off this boat because all the women on here are starting to look attractive. And I think after 5 weeks of drinking Benchmark, I'm afraid that this foolproof is starting to taste good. And my palate is just getting jacked up. So we have to stop drinking this. We have to get out of here. I'm going to pour you some foolproof.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Not a taster,
I don't like this. And you say this, and then you do like some 2-ounce pour, and I lose my mind.
No, you think you're not going to like this, but you're going to love this.
Okay, that's right on the cusp. All right, we'll take
it. There's a lot of sugary sweetness that's actually coming through in this foolproof.
Wow, the nose is way better on this. It's way more sweeter. Like that's what I enjoy.
So a lot of us whiskey jerks are going to say, "Well, it's just because you got the neck pour out of it." But I do think that it's just because we prepped our palate with something weird, and now we've gone to this
so much better.
It's so much better.
It's so much better. Okay, so case in point,
the sweetness. It's so sweet.
Case in point. That's why I think this is going to be an amazing blind tasting next week for next week's show. We're going to blind them. We're going to have a special guest, and then we're going to blind them and rank them in order of preference.
It's not good. I want to be honest. It's not good, but it's good in comparison.
Yeah.
I like this foolproof better than I like the single barrel, and the single barrel was not. It wasn't wretched. It just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know.
I like this a little better. So you want to go into some scoring?
That's what I was just going to get to, but really quick,
scores?
Before we get into scores, I want to go to some chat here.
Sure.
I already said, I just got to repeat this top feed benchmark disappointed blend. I love it.
The benchmark disappointed blend.
That's what we call it. That's what we call it.
Oh, baby.
Ed said, so he said he's still here. He ended up at the Leatherneck Club last night. What is that? And then he
got some stories.
So he brought a bottle to share with us.
Okay.
We got to hit him up, but he's
tomorrow
because he's not sure when he has to head back
tomorrow.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we work day jobs. I can't just dip out at lunch and go tie one on with him. I would love to.
Hello.
I would love to, but I'm gonna have to do in the afternoon.
I think you can.
We'll see. We'll talk to Ed. Top feed is planting peppers. What kind of peppers do you got, man?
A little jalapeno, a little green.
No, here's what I'm thinking is that I'm hoping that he's planting some peppers and that he makes his own like
salsas.
Yeah, and then we could do a little trade. We could do a little samples for salsa.
I like it.
A little shipping trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's
get down.
Top
I like
feed.
it.
Let's see if that works, man. We might, if you're making salsas. I don't know what you're doing with those peppers. And then Safi says, "Hi, Barrel Buddy."
What up, Safi?
Uncle Punky style, and I like the wording you used. The more you drink, the gooder it gets.
Yeah, the gooder. Hey, everybody, it's starting to taste so much gooder.
Here's the thing: I shat all over Foolproof that last week, and now I prefer it over this.
I did too. So,
Sub 1K, Sub 1K.
Hey,
Love
Bobby.
you, Sub 1K. Hope you're doing well, man. Miss you, Sub 1K.
But I am gonna judge the single barrel on its own merit.
Yeah, we need to get into some scoring.
So you want some more?
And I hate to say it.
You want some more?
Can you just splash me? Just a beep bop boop.
Hey, what's the chat say?
Yeah. Okay.
I barely gave you an ounce.
All right. Yeah. No, big difference.
Now we're going to go back.
Then this is why I can't wait to blind it on next week's show. So Ed said it's an iconic marine bar in Vegas. Oh
yeah, Roughnecks, of course.
Hoorah! My brother is in the Marines right now.
Go Miggy, we love you.
Miggy, shout out to Miggy if you're watching this. Shout out my bro. I hope you're. He's in some training in South Carolina at a Marine base.
He's got the best moves I've ever seen.
No, do you want to talk about the best first deployment? They were like, they're giving people like, I don't know, Anchorage, Alaska, and like middle of nowhere. And then they turn to him and like, all right, you got to go to Waikiki.
He's like, I do? Okay.
So he's been spending like a couple years in Hawaii, and now he's doing some training in South Carolina. So cheers to that.
Let's hope he gets out of there before it gets too hot.
Yeah, you got summer coming. You don't want to be down there. It's miserable.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to, again, some oak tone, some tobacco tone. It's not.
I like
not
the tobacco.
bright.
I like you saying tobacco because I'm definitely getting, and I don't. It's not like cigarette water, but it's like tobacco leaves.
Yeah,
not in a bad way, right?
It's not like
Calumet.
It's not like a good. It's not like a good cigar, but it is like it's got a richness. There's
like
a
you
nice
opened up a
richness.
humidor and you get a little bit of a cigar, like,
and I'd say a little sweetness there too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a little. It's not a lot,
it's
but
not
a
a
little
lot.
sweetness. But it's not overwhelming with the
it's not overwhelming.
with
It's
the
not
ethanol.
overwhelming. Oh wow, check this out. Top Feed says, "Oh yeah, boys, I got the Scotch bonnets for jerk spice, Trinidad scorpions, and ghost peppers for salsa and concentrated pepper sauces, and the Carolina Reapers because there I got no good reason for it."
I'm gonna be honest. I want to lift out of this chair because my butt hurts already.
All right, so we said we would get to scores, and I apologize dearly for anyone that is watching this after the live, and they're like, "We're just here for the review. Get back. We don't know who the hell you guys are talking about. This dogs and
then we recommend
dogs barking and caramel versus caramel, and
then we recommend that you join the live show and interact and be a part of this craziness because that's half the fun.
that is half the fun is joining us for the live show.
I want you to give some scores first. You put me on the hot seat twice in a row, so it's your turn.
I will. I'm going to jump right in, but first of all, so Bourbon Cat, I think, is falling asleep. Her head is in my.
Oh no, she's awake. There it is.
No, because she heard me calling her, but her head, like the full weight of her head, was
like,
just. She was like, "I don't care. I'm going to fall asleep right on your hand."
Oh.
She's a little sleepy. I can tell she's groggy. All right, so 3 categories that we rate our bottles on are nose, taste, and value. We used to go from a 0 to 9 scale with a potential 1 for a blown away bonus, but now we just went to 0 to 100 and fell in line with all the other jamokes out there.
No, I'm going to argue this one on you. I'm going to say we still do the old score, but then we give you a final. We give you a final score out of 100.
She's doing it like the full weight.
Oh, I see it.
She knows I'm calling her out. Anyway, go ahead.
We do the old score because it helps guide us into this out of 100 score that helps everybody kind of be like, wait, what does it mean? Is it what is this 9? Is 9 good? Because we don't know. Like we know what that is for us, but it's hard for you, our listener, to know what that is. So we give you an out of 100 score, which is a little easier for you to gauge what that is. So, yeah, you're going to hear us talk about both scoring styles, but the out of 100 is the final scoring style that helps you understand where we land.
Well, and think about it. You can just take our old scoring system and add a 0 at whatever the result is, and that's out of 100.
Remove 10 and move a decimal. So lead us off there.
Yes. Okay. Jumping right in on the nose, it gets a 1 on the nose. The nose is kind of like just whatever. It's not bad, but it's just not very prominent. Like I think you really have to get into it to really get any nose.
Sure.
And I want to be honest with you guys. I don't know that would ding any whiskey off the bat, right? I always think taste is probably your main driver of a whiskey. Like if it tastes good, then it's good. But
I don't know about that,
because I've smelled whiskeys where I'm like, ooh, I'm not really getting a nose, and then I taste it, I'm like, OMG, this is magical. Like
you've done the opposite too, where we've had amazing whiskeys.
I know you're right.
Smell it, we can nose it all night and never taste it.
That's okay. You got me there. So then, if that's the case, both instances would apply, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
No, whatever.
Absolutely.
So it gets a 1. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good, and it's not prominent. So right there, that's 3 big dings, or 2 big dings.
We're gonna snake it this year tonight. Good. I don't want you to go on. I'm gonna jump in on nose with you, and I'm gonna tell you.
Sure.
I echo this. Everything that you just said about the nose.
Okay.
Not a lot I like about it. It's not very prominent. You really have to dig your face into that neat glass, the official, unofficial official glass.
The official, unofficial glass of the Barrel Buddies, the Neat Glass guys. We are going to soon have some of these to sell on our website.
We sure will.
We're going to be working with the guy that like created the Neat Glass.
We sure will.
And I know I never thought I would be saying that, but we're like, oh, we're going to talk to the creator.
We sure will.
Like we're making it happen. There's some stuff happening.
The Barrel Buddies are going to take some steps in 2023. I'm very excited. But I agree with you. I'm giving it a 1 out of 3.
Thank you.
She's doing it.
She's doing it. She's doing it. Right here. Look.
I can see it.
The entire weight of her head is just resting in my hand.
It's pretty good.
Everyone can see this, right? I have it on a camera, official. The 20-year-old blind cat is
passed out.
She's going to pass out with just the weight of her head in my hand.
When she starts snoring, it's going to be even better.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm going to snake us into taste.
Please do.
So in taste,
she woke up.
I saw. In taste, I'm going to give a half point. So I'm going to go 1.5. It's not awful. It's not awful. There are some nice citrus notes. There are some nice vanilla notes, but there's also it's not great either. I mean, I think that oaky, bitter, acrid flavor, it doesn't really ever go away. In fact, if anything, it intensifies as you get deeper into it, and it's not really a pleasant flavor on the palate. I'm not a big fan of it. So 1.5.
But hold on, what if I said this to you? What if I'm like one of those guys and I'm like, well, what do you expect for a $25 bottle? What do you say to that?
I expect something like Evan Williams that's delightful and amazing. I expect something like Samuel Grant, which is not offensive to my palate. I expect something like
left field, but okay.
We're talking bottom shelf bangers. That's off the bottom shelf.
Black Label Evan Williams, Wild Turkey 101.
100%.
Save your $20, get another 20 and get a rare breed.
100%.
I mean,
well, now we're really stepping up on that.
Okay, that's fair.
We're really stepping up on
Elijah Craig small batch for 30. Save
go.
Another $10 and get a bottle that's 10 times better than this. I don't understand why Buffalo Trace. Is this just seconds?
How about hold on.
Stuff that didn't make it? That didn't make the cut? Because there's barrels that don't make the cut.
I understand.
BTAC and stuff like that.
I'm going to lay something right here into the same vein that we're talking about.
Sure.
Which is Buffalo Trace Distilling. Let's talk about Buffalo Trace.
Let's do it.
A bottle which has become super hypey. I don't know why everybody loves Buffalo Trace so much. It's not
because
bad
it's
whiskey.
Sweet.
It's not a bad
approachable
whiskey.
And not offensive.
But it's also $24 a bottle. Okay, we already said about $25 a bottle. So for the same price, you can get a Buffalo Trace. Okay, is it a single barrel? No, I don't think that this necessarily tastes like a single barrel either.
Okay,
I don't. And at 47.5%. No offense, but I think the full proof is rocking at a 62.5. I would expect, and that's probably why I'm digging the full proof tonight, is because that's what I would expect out of a single barrel, not a 47.5, not the Jack Daniel's single barrel select that they have proofed down and brought down to nothing. This is not acceptable in my world. So go to a regular Buffalo Trace, just a general Buffalo Trace whiskey, and I think that's better. You're going to get the same citrus notes. You're going to get a little sweeter. You're going to get a better whiskey.
Listen, say you're the director of production at Buffalo Trace, and they're like, "Hey, we just bottled 10,000 barrels of Buffalo Trace, but 2,000 of those barrels taste like shit. What do we do with them?"
Oh, yeah, you brand it as Benchmark.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. From just like a business, what makes sense perspective, that's probably what they do.
Hey,
let's not say it tastes like shit, but just say it doesn't make the cut, right? Like, I'm sure they taste the barrels and they're like, okay, we're Buffalo Trace. They have a flavor that works and they know what works. And I'm sure there's barrels out there that just don't cut it. And they have to do something with that. Because at one point, you're like, you can't drain pour it. Because you spent all that money on, she's like totally sleeping. What do? You put it into a product.
No, I get that.
Because listen, they're out there to make money. But they're not there to like satisfy customers.
Buffalo Trace, listen to me. Buffalo Trace, listen to me. Listen to me.
Listen here, Buffalo Trace. They're like, we're never listening to the
Listen to
But
me.
go ahead.
No, that's not true.
Okay,
We have
that's true.
learned.
No,
that
we
there are
have
some
learned there's some
people that
random
are
people
listening
that
to us.
actually do listen. But please go ahead because this is the moment.
So I'm going to take a
and
moment.
I think we're being very honest here. This is totally honest.
This is a
on
good
Front
moment.
Street here.
And so I am going to time out really quick to just
Yeah.
ask you to, if you haven't liked this video, please like it. If
Please
you
do.
haven't subscribed,
Oh,
please
that's
subscribe.
a big one.
And if you
It
would
costs
take a
nothing to
moment,
do that, you guys. We need that.
if you just take a moment and share
Or
share
comment,
our
even
content, a comment and a share really
like,
helps
love
us
the
out.
show. You guys are great.
We are
love Bourbon Cat.
you know,
Please do a comment tonight for us. We'd appreciate it.
we really are learning that we are starting to get some FaceTime with some legit players in the game, which is great.
Yeah.
Because we've always thought of ourselves as legit players in the game.
We're episode 1. We were legit. That's why we put it on YouTube.
We're legit. We know what we're doing. And that's why we're here. So we would really appreciate it if you give us that shout out. But
Yes.
here's what I think Buffalo Trace should do with product like this, rather than besmirch their good name with a product that's not necessarily great.
But hold on, are we
pass it as something great?
Is that what we're doing? Are we saying just like Benchmark is a giant thumbs down overall? I'm kind of leaning that way. I'll be honest. Like I'm not spending, like, everyone's like, oh, it's $20. But I'm like, yeah, but if I'm going into a liquor store and all I have is 20, I'm not getting this. I wouldn't even think.
So this is like making the decision. We're going to talk. We're going to make a Vegas
full disclosure.
A Vegas allegory here.
Okay.
This is like saying you're a high roller at Circus Circus.
Okay.
Do you want to be a high roller at Circus Circus? No. Or do you want to be like a general somebody at MGM Grand?
Exactly. I'd rather be a general somebody at some other casino.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And so, listen, if this is your jam and it makes you feel like you're a high roller at Circus Circus, and that's good for you, good for you.
And here's the thing.
Good for you.
Again, palates. Everybody's got their own palates.
But if
everybody has their own tastes and opinions and what they like and what they don't like.
Sure. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. Okay.
Exactly. We're not here to tell anybody that there's a lot of people, trust me, in the whiskey community that we've had shares with that do not stop talking about how amazing Benchmark is.
True.
And I think that's kind of helped like start this tasting with us.
I like mellow corn. You hate it.
Zach, though, that's a great example. I'm disgusted by mellow corn.
But I like mellow corn.
Same with Old Tub.
In certain ways.
And I know that's going to cause a lot of drama, but I loathe both of those products.
Talk about one of the number one bean products in my mind. But again, we're diverging from what I was going to say, which is I think that what they could do with this, and it could be really good.
What do you got?
Is if they do something like Horstadters. Okay, I know you don't like. I know you don't like Horstadters slow and low either. Okay, I know you do. But this is exactly what I think they should be doing. They should be selling all of this off product to people like Horstadters.
She's saying, totally asleep now.
Oh, she's out.
Full weight of the neck is
and then
on my
and then
arm.
you let them add all of that honey and orange and vanilla that they make the freezer bottle cocktail out of. And that's perfect. It's a freezer bottle cocktail.
It's a great idea, but here's the thing. I think that if Hochstadters or whatever they're fucking called,
Horstadters,
okay, whatever it is, if some like Joe generic shitty whiskey brand went to Buffalo Trace and said, hey, do you guys have something we can buy? And they're like, ooh, like they Mr. Burns it and do the like, oh yeah, of course, we got some Benchmark. Sorry, Jamba.
Excellent.
They're like, oh yeah, we got some Benchmark bottles we'll unload on you, or barrels. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, is that what you want? I don't think so.
I mean, sell it to I don't want.
I'm like, no,
I don't want to
put
just
Benchmark in my product.
I just
try to
think
make it better.
There are other things that you could do with off product or product that doesn't fit your brand, other than creating a new brand. Like, that's just what I think. I think that they could have gotten a little more. And maybe there's not. Maybe it's so saturated and they are shocking. They are showing us and they're shocking us, the consumer, and holding back so much stuff that they're trying to build the FOMO and keep the price up and propping everything, as we've seen it done everywhere. It could be happening. That could be happening. But I just don't think it's worth creating a whole brand new brand and being like, instead of reinvesting in the things people like, we're going to come out with 10 new versions of Benchmark.
Here's the thing, like I kind of get it though, right? Because they have to do something with it. And if they try to source it to like whatever you're talking about, whoever, if they try to source it a company that wants to source something is going to come in on pennies on the barrel. Their Buffalo Trace, it's more lucrative for them to come up with the mystery of some weird backstory.
Oh,
of
you know what they
some
should do doing with
broken
this?
and bankrupt distillery. And this is
Perfect.
going to get me started because I
Perfect.
could go on a rant
And
of
start
like weird distilleries that are just
Okay.
NDPs
Okay.
that have
Okay.
weird stories.
1.5 on my
And
flavor. What's your taste?
Flavor gets a 1. I am now in a
Thank you.
mood, and nose gets a 1, taste gets a 1. Get into the
Value?
chat.
Value.
Hold on. Get into the chat. Hoorah. Shout out to the Marines. Thank you all for your service,
Woo!
past, future, present.
VE Day is coming. So is Memorial
Exactly.
Day. Think of that.
Shout out to my bro. I hope you're having a blast down there if you're watching the show. I know he occasionally watches. Enjoy it while you can. He's in his 20s in the Marines. I mean, talk about a great life, I'm sure.
Good time.
Right? Having a good time. Safi says she never considered herself a legitimate player, but thanks for the compliments.
Yeah.
I love that. Benchmark isn't even the Zima of bourbons, says
That I want to put that on a shirt. Benchmark. Not even the
Zima of bourbon.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Nose taste value 111. This gets a 30 from me.
You're giving it a 30?
I hate it.
That's it.
I don't now I'm really chapped. My rear is chapped. They're like, why are you saying rear? Just say ass. You've been dropping F-bombs whole show.
I mean, I was going to give it a 46. I think there's a solid 2 on value. It's not a value I'd go again. We talked about, would you go buy this? No. I would not go out of my way to buy this if I saw it sitting in the shelf.
Hold on.
Would I go get it? Probably not.
I've regained my composure. I'm giving it a 35.
Oh, 5 more points.
Hey, that's better than a 30. It gets a 35.
Sure. Okay.
Because I'm thinking about what I've given the ratings to the other bottles throughout the 5 weeks we've been trudging through this Buffalo Trace. If you're watching, but by now they are like, delete these guys. The do not contact
I
list.
don't believe that.
Yeah, they're like, they have just shat all over us.
I think it's a test.
No,
Buffalo
we've
Trace
been blacklisted. Buffalo Trace, reach out to us, send us shit to review. We are more than willing to do that. It makes me so angry when I see somebody with like 100 followers that gets like these huge packages from these distilleries of like
we get no
trier products, and we never get anything.
Hey,
do you know how much money we've spent on all this behind us? This is over $100,000 of bourbon. I'm telling you.
We have a problem.
Sorry, but that's cumulative. It's not just me. It's like all 3, 4, 5 of us, and wonderful friends like you that give us and send us bottles. Yes, you're amazing.
Thank you. Like,
we couldn't have done it without you guys.
We got a bottle from Safi.
We got a bottle from we got the wonderful bottles from them. We got the bottles from Redbeard. We have we have tons of bottles from you guys. So
we appreciate your support.
I'm giving it a 35.
I'm giving it a 46.
Okay. I will say this much. I
think you're right. The blind is going to be right next week.
I'm excited for the blind.
The blind is going to be big for next week. I think it's going to
that's all I want to say. I'm kind of hyped for the blind because I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I'm like looking at all the bottles right there, and I'm like, I don't really remember some of them. Very non-memorable. That's another thing, right? Like usually when you taste something that's really good, you're like, oh, I remember that. No, I don't remember. These are completely unmemorable.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. All right.
So Top Feet says he bets a few of his buddies could wipe out the collection in under a month. Dude, I'm gonna have a pool party. So I'm a bachelor for like the next 2 weeks. As the other half, she's out on a gig. And I was thinking about having a big pool party / whiskey share.
Want to come to Vegas?
So I'm throwing this out there. It is May 3rd. I think either next weekend, this weekend, maybe next weekend. We do a Saturday whiskey share and pool party.
Did you pick up a second bottle of the 3-quart?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about it. That wraps it up.
Uncle, hold on, Uncle Punky. We are going to blind all 5 next week. Next week's show. We're gonna try to get a third. But I don't want to give it away. I think we're gonna get a special guest. And then we're gonna pour 5 of each. And we're gonna number them on the bottom, all blind. I'll have a
we'll have
intermediary that'll like help
keep it so we don't know.
Keep it so we truly don't know. And I'm really, really looking forward to what we rank. So what you're going to do is we're going to taste them and then rank them 1 to 5.
This could be as bad as the SHOT Show. You know that, right?
I can't wait.
This could get
I'm
ugly.
really excited for it.
Get ugly.
Well, Bourbon Cat's awake. Bourbon Cat, say hi to everybody.
Snoozing and losing, man.
She's purring away. I don't hear her.
Snoozing
Let me see
and
if I
losing.
can get the mic down to her. See if you guys can hear the purr. Maybe?
Meh, not really.
No, we're on the mic.
I hear the mic.
Yeah, I just hear the mic. I don't hear her.
Well,
Hold on. Let me get on that, Jamba. Get on that mic. Oh, hold on. I think we got a little purr there.
A little.
Anyway, she's purring away. Bourbon Cat's purring away. She loves being on the show, and she loves you guys hanging out with us. Jamba, say hi to everybody. Anyways, for the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm DJ. We'll see you next week.
Great show. We love you guys. Safi's SHOT Show was legendary. Guys, if you haven't seen the SHOT Show,
don't
no,
see it.
go back.
see the
Oh,
SHOT
that was at
Show.
the Fun House. God,
Ugh.
that was what
It was like episode
2 years
3.
ago.
It was episode 3.
We went to this shady liquor store in a very rough area of town.
It was a nice area of town.
And bought every cheap bottle that was under $10. And
rum chata never again.
Dude, the rum chata and what was that like? It was like
It wasn't Ethiopian.
Estonian. It was Estonian apple whiskey.
Had a devil face on it, and it was green and red. I will never forget it. I puked so hard.
And then one of the shots curdled, and we still drank it. It's the rum chata mixed with something.
I just remember like sleeping on your couch and puking on your screen door.
Yeah, no, that was rough.
It was a
Everybody,
bad
nobody went
night.
home that night. All the Barrel
We all
Buddies
slept at your
passed out
house.
at my house.
It was bad.
Oof, that was a rough
Bad
night.
memories. Okay. Well, for the Barrel Buddies.
For the Barrel Buddies.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week for the blind show. Talk to you then. Boop.